Okay, good. And it'll also be a smaller file so you can hear it. Good.
Okay, that's really helping me try to find that, like, where on the stick I need to hold it.
Exactly. The rebound will help you a lot with that. Now, when you're doing the rebound by itself, it's counterintuitive because you actually start it up here. Like because you can isolate all 4 of the strokes that you use, and some of them are awkward when they're alone because you never would use them by themselves. The nature of rebound is you're doing one after the other. But if you want to try them by themselves, it helps. So you start up here, almost at a 90, and it ends up there too. Yep. So it's all up there. And again, this isn't how you ever play. This is just practice this one stroke. Yeah, keep it higher though when you're not playing. Yeah, let's go back and forth. You doing? I'll do one like that. Yeah, that was a perfect
Okay,
one.
I felt that one.
Did you feel that one? How
Yeah.
it shot back at you? So that's the feeling you want. So to give you this, yeah, let me get my metronome because I'm going to just tell you, since we're recording now, I can go kind of quick with this. I'm going to tell you how I practice this. We got a clicker. There it is. Perfect. And I did this every day for like a year, just for like, so I would do 2 minutes, put it real slow at 50, even 40. Did I do it 40 or 50? I can't remember. No, 40. Yeah, it was as slow as the metronome went. That's right. I remember now. Because that way you really have a chance to have space between each one. So I put it down at 40. I do 2 minutes on just the downstroke. It's like meditative, and when you're doing it, you're really thinking about the shoulders, all that stuff. Yep. Just kind of relax, sitting. And finding, your right height. Like, you might be sitting a little higher right now. So I like sitting high. It does help my body. Yep. So when you're doing the downstroke, make sure you're home, be kind of perfectionist with yourself. But not like tense perfectionist, but like your home base is an inch from the drum. Every time you do one, it's right back to where you were. Yep. And again, if it bounces a little bit, it's okay. Let's go back and forth. I'll do it. And you do it. You see how mine has a little more of a jiggle than yours does. Yeah. And there's like subtle stuff, like when do you start the stroke? Is it like this? Or is it like this? Or is it like this? When do you lift it? And there's a natural place in the middle that's very natural to lift it. You just like up, down. Where it's not too slow where you're kind of hesitating, but it's not too fast where you feel like you're rushing into it either. It's just kind of like, so that's all stuff to observe about yourself when you're kind of doing this. And I do this in the mirror also. Then the other one is the rebound, second one. I showed you already. You had that, you popped that last left you did was like the perfect one. Okay. Then the other 2 strokes, you isolated again of the tap, which is just a little tap that we use.
I think that's mainly what I use.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Like I use just a lot of rest of
it. Yeah. That's great. And that's the way to, that's the way to get interest. If you watch like whoever, Buddy Rich, I mean, when he's playing his solos, it's like, he's like pulling accents, so he's like using
the strokes,
downstrokes, and in between all these little taps.
You're the first guy that's come to me and tell me that there's 4 different strokes.
Yeah. And then the 4th stroke we use, which is the most awkward to isolate, but it's used a lot, is the upstroke, okay? It's like a tap, but you're kind of pulling. Yeah. Again, why would you ever do it by itself? You wouldn't. But why do we do it? Well, you do it when you play something like this. If you think about it, you do down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So, you kind of use it in conjunction with the downstroke to play, fast. And, when you see guys really cooking on it, it comes very natural. It's a bouncy, you felt that feeling. It's a great feeling. But isolating them...
But I don't think it like down, up, down, up. I just think like accent.
Yeah, and that's fine. But then when you're playing, you don't... yeah, you don't want to think about down up when you're in the midst of playing music, but that's the mechanics of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So the whole exercise, I'm kind of going through it quick because we got other stuff. When you do the whole thing, so you can practice them each separately: downstroke, rebound, tap, and upstroke. But when you do them all together, here's the exercise that I was shown, which is good. So it's like this. Do each hand one at a time. Down, up, rebound. I'm sorry, I'm doing that. Rebound is first. Down, tap, and back up. That's how it is. Rebound, down, tap, up. I'll do one more set. Try it real quick. Now, when the rebound it comes back, remember the first one. For this exercise, your home base is like 90 degrees. Yeah, it's like very awkward. Nothing you would ever do in playing music. But for the purpose of the exercise, yep, down, tap, up, yep, rebound, down, tap, up. That's it. So you're at 40 beats per minute. Some people would think of this as the most boring exercise in existence. I liked it, and I don't do it for long. I'll do it 2 minutes a day.
It's a perfection thing.
Yeah, and for any practice, I want to say, because maybe you know this, maybe you don't. For any practice like that, anything that's kind of, how do you put it? An exercise that you're not working on that to play a song. It's more for integrating into your playing and your form in general.
Yeah.
The most important thing about it is to do it a little bit every day, and it's even more beneficial if you do it close to your sleep cycle. This is scientifically documented with not just drumming but anything. Boxers do it like when you're working on at night or even right when you wake up.
Yeah, that's why I do brush stuff.
Yeah, it just works. It creates these new pathways in your brain is what's happening, and they're created more efficiently closer to sleep cycles. So whatever, you can practice any time of day. The more important than close to sleep cycles is doing it every day.
Yeah.
You miss a day, fine, but there's no reason to binge that for 2 hours and then not practice it for a week. You're not going to get any benefit from that. It's more about a little bit every day. Now, other kinds of things you might want to practice more, but something like this, where you're not working on a song or something, it's just like working on yourself almost. It's like, okay, you're slowly gaining this thing, and you'll find after 2 months, you're like, oh, I don't know, maybe something happens where it's like you start to feel a little something good, like, oh, that feels good, and I think something's working its way. So that's the first part of Murray Spivak's thing. The next parts are about two things: singles, which are basically rebounds at a fast enough tempo, but if you're too slow, you don't even consider them singles. And then doubles, okay? And singles, when you're doing rebounds next to each other, this is surprisingly, some people, it's the easiest thing, but again, you would start around 70, because anything slower than that becomes like one downstroke after another. But let's go to 80, because it's even a little smoother at that tempo maybe. So we're going to play 16th notes at this tempo, and you're going to find when you just do 1 or 8 notes with one hand, all rebound, just like bouncing a ball. Yeah, it should feel very much like very minimal effort. Yeah, kind of want to grab a pad. Oh, that's right. Yeah, don't do it together because you'll find that when you hit them at the same time, they cancel out. Yeah, exactly. You do 8 on each hand or whatever. Again, everyone has different body types, and I have like pretty shallow shoulders, so not everyone's exactly the same. I had one really big dude, and it was his arms naturally went out like that. I'm like, all right, that's just he couldn't put him down. But for me, my elbows almost reside like down on my sides like this. You don't want to wing out like that really. But also,
well, that's where I'm feeling.
Yeah. But don't push it in either. Does it help you to do that?
It helps me to lift my shoulder up and like do that.
What about thinking instead of going out? What about thinking just back a little bit? Does that feel?
Yeah.
How's that feel? You know? Yeah, dude. I mean, if you got to go out a little bit, do it for comfort. Yeah, for sure. How's that feel? What are you kind of thinking more?
I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, that's good. You can kind of mess with that when you're in the mirror. Obviously, don't force your elbows in either. It's just about wherever they kind of fall naturally. Okay, so the exercise is each hand separately. I'm on the right hand, and then I'm on the left hand. But then putting them together becomes almost like if you're bouncing two balls. It's a juggling thing where it's really, has this. You see how, look at my hands, I'm really not doing much. It's pretty relaxed. I'm just kind of like, again, the stick is, the fulcrum is the middle finger. That's where the...
Yeah, another thing about my fulcrum, when I try to use the middle finger, so I've had problems in here a lot. I wasn't even realizing it when I was doing that kind of close thing. Is I would do almost that.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm trying
Well, you don't want to grab it, though. When I say the fulcrum, the guy, Willie, was his Willie? Was that I can't say exactly what he was saying to you, but you really don't want to grip. I mean, I will say that. You generally don't want to grip.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people tell me that.
Yeah, it's just not. If you're dropping the stick a lot, then you can tighten a little bit.
Dude, I never know if this guy's a genius or if he's so full of shit. It's like,
yeah.
But he did really help me with this.
Yeah.
He told me, hold the stick like with my traditional.
Yeah.
Because I was really loosey-goosey with it. And he said, hold it, and you can actually, like, get some control.
Like, like a lot of things I find in life, it's like you go this way, and then you're like, no, you got to go that way. Yeah, I've done that too.
Yeah.
Like where I've been too loose, and I'm like, you know what? No, I got to actually kind of, especially with traditional, I notice, because I don't play like that often, but I have tried it many times. I'm better matched, But, yeah, so, I mean, there's something to what he's saying. I don't want to say never grip the stick. I'm sure he has a point to it. But in general, especially if you're getting pain, you want to minimize gripping. You want to minimize tension. I will say, regardless of whether you're gripping it a little bit or not, you want to minimize tension. If you can have a little grip without being tense, maybe in some context that's okay, I'll say. But yeah, see, that's it right there.
Like an outward kind of.
So let's go back to just doing rebounds, but with two hands, which is, again, just a single stroke roll. Easy, but surprisingly tricky to be able to really get it relaxed. What Murray says, you pick 3 tempos. Your slow tempo, maybe 70, middle, 80, fast, 90. And you slowly inch that up. When you get up to, 120, still not terribly fast, but your stick height begins to go down. The faster you go, the less stick height you're going to use. When you get up to 160, your stick height's down to here. But even at 120, I'm not up there as much. Where you find tension, that's where you want to pull the tempo a little below that. And again, daily practice, 3 minutes a day, just doing your singles, slowly inching it up in the mirror, focusing on just, making sure both your sticks are the same height. Yeah, what you're doing now, it doesn't look bad. It's not as, I think you could find a little more.
I'm trying to get the rebound, man.
Yeah, you'll get it. You'll get a little more relaxation in it, a little more minimizing your effort to put into it. It's just where you feel like suddenly the stick feels like it's doing it by itself, and you're just there gently guiding the sticks. I kind of think of it that way when I'm practicing. And that's only when I'm practicing this stuff, you know. When I go over to the drum set, I'm not really trying to think about this stuff.
And it helps when I have a little bit of grip on it.
Yeah, a little bit.
When I don't have anything, it doesn't give me the rebound I want. It just kind of dies in my hand.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. It is a little bit of grip there.
You're right. You have to guide it.
Yeah.
And upwards direction.
When I think about it, now it's enough. It's a small enough amount of grip where I can grab it with my other hand and pull it out.
Yeah.
But it is a little. Yeah, I'm not just like. You know, I definitely am holding it a little bit. You're right. Yeah, there is that. So, you know, Willie may have been overcompensating. Like, you have to grip it. But you don't want to grip it. You just have to give it a tiny bit more than you were to kind of hold on to it or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, I'm not going to get into doubles and stuff right now. But that, you know, I think just getting that part down is the basic thing. You know, the doubles, let me just hear your double stroke, just like double stroke roll. Tense, you know, it is a little tense. I think when you're doing the double.
Well, there's two ways I do double.
Yeah.
I like wrist like that, and then I try to open that up with an almost push-pull kind of thing.
Right.
And when I got into that whole push-pull thing, that's when I started developing that pain in there. Always bump, bam, bam, bam. Always doing that for 2 hours. Then it was just like, okay, it's too much on that little joint to handle all that.
For sure. I mean, the way, I guess I will get briefly into doubles, the way Murray teaches it, which I like again, is just like letting the stick go until it kind of dies, and then, you know, then you go to 4. And after 4, you just kind of like pick your hand up, kind of. No, I got 3 that time. Yeah, and then you try 3. But look how, when I do it, I'm not rushing. I'm just kind of like lifting. Yep, and then he tries 2, you know, does a double. And it's pretty much just about, almost like as if you're going to it's as if you're going to let the hand kind of just do it.
Yeah, dude, you're right. It's like the first one's a rebound.
Yeah.
And then what's that second one called? Is that a downstroke?
Yeah, kind of. It kind of is. You could think of it like that. You know, it's the second part of the double. And doing it like this, it definitely makes the second hit weaker. But that's the way to start it. Now, what you're talking about, where you're kind of using it a different way, where you're doing an inverted double and trying to make the second. Like,
yeah, that's how I practice it. That's all wrist.
Yeah, that's all wrist. So you want to just be careful with that if you're getting pain. There's a time for it, but I think first get the regular just relaxed. Very relaxed double. Up a touch. I think it could behoove you to have this up an inch or so. Although this is the bad. This is all my secondary gears. This stair status. I'm not sure if that even went up at all. It may have, but it's you know we can do is actually trick it out. What we'll do at the end of the lesson is I'll just you can, if you have a camera phone, you can do it, or I can do it. I'll just film myself just doing the basic thing, just so you can see it. You know, we'll do that at the end.
Okay. Just
because the visual helps. You know, audio will be good, but it's good to have the visual. So, all right, let's move on for now. I think that's a good start on that stuff that really helped me physically not to have the pain that I used to have as much. I'm doing well with it now. I really have, and that should be encouraging because I'm 43. So, it's not like, well, you're in pain now. I guess life is going to be hard coming up.
Yeah,
you can still turn that stuff around.
Yeah.
It's not like it has to be like that always. So, let's see. I'm going to just touch this down a teeny bit. Okay, that's good. I'm going to angle this up one notch. Well, I think we should jump right into the Bossa stuff because that's kind of,
okay.
The main reason we came over here. First, let's talk about some different variations of the rhythm, and then I'm going to talk about how I've been practicing it with the metronome, because my bossas and sambas, I was, especially like the ones in between, like around, 100 beats per minute, where it's kind of a fast bossa or maybe a slow samba, 90 beats per minute. I would record my gigs and notice the tempos would kind of speed up. I was having a hard time feeling relaxed on those. So I started using the metronome in this different kind of way that has really helped me. And this is just in the past year. So I'll show you that stuff. But first, I guess, the bossa that you were doing, do it on the cymbal for a minute. Are you cool with, when you did it before, you were on the hi-hat? Can you do that same beat, but doing the hi-hat on 2 and 4?
Yeah.
I'm sure you can.
Where I'm at with it. I know I've tried to add some fills in it, but I don't know how to get away from that straight dump, 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 dump. I don't know how to get away from that.
Yep. The first thing to do is do the reverse one. So it's exactly the same thing, but you flip the tune. So it's like. So it's the same exact beat, but instead of starting on the 1, you're starting on beat 2. 1, 2.
Oh.
It feels different.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so when you start on the 2, the rhythm that the snare drum does, the hemiola, if you will, you know what that is? It's like
hemiola.
You heard that word? It's like you're already doing it, but it's where
well, I know the snare drum part. Like it's not like that's the hemiola.
Yeah. Well, a hemiola. I don't know the exact definition, but I think that it's like a steady rhythm that doesn't fit evenly into a measure, so it crosses the bar line.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like if I'm at 4, 1, 2, here's the hemiola, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and it doesn't start over there. That one will start over every 3 measures, I think. So it kind of crosses the bar line. It doesn't reset at the top of the bar. And that's kind of what this one is. So it comes in on 2 and it stays steady. But listen. But it does reset every 2 measures. Now if I kept that rhythm going and didn't reset it, it would sound like this. It takes a while to kind of reset back if you're talking about 4-measure phrases anyway.
Well, I hear it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a cool, that's a good first variation. But before we do the continuation of the hemiola, let's just do the 2-measure bossa. That's the opposite of what you're doing. So the one you're doing was. Yeah. But if you just think about 1. same rhythm. Like if I walked in the room and you were playing your bossa, I wouldn't know which one it is because I don't know where you're feeling the top. It's a 2-measure phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. But unless there's a song going where you know which is the first measure of the 2-measure phrase, you can't tell. So we're playing the same beat, but it just feels different when you start on the second measure. And it's kind of starting on the second measure of the beat, which is what some would call the 2-3 bossa, because the first measure has 2 hits in it, and the second measure has 3 hits. The one you were doing was the 3-2 bossa. The 2-3 bossa I kind of like because the hemiola is all within the 2 measures, so it's like Where the one you're doing, the hemiola is broken up between the second measure and the first measure of the next phrase, which is like this. Break. Break. I mean, they're both cool. I really don't like one more than the other. I use them both all the time. But
well, I mean, that's the shit I needed. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. It's just and those are the 2 basic bossa rhythms. So you have one of the 2 down. You should have the other one down too. Again, they're the same thing, but somehow they just feel different because of where we're feeling the phrase. So let's try it. Let's just play it together. The 2-3. So the first snare hit's going to come in on beat 2. 1, 2, ready. Oh. Now, let's switch to the 3-2 here. That felt a little funny to me too. Now, switch back to the 2-3. Oh. The 2 like standard bossa rhythms that where if someone's like play a straight bossa, you're just gonna do that. But in jazz, you can do anything you want. So like the stuff I was doing, and if you listen to jazz bossa novas and jazz players playing bossas, they don't stick with that rhythm. They do different stuff. So one thing that I do is I'll just double some of those hits. So instead of like double. Just by doubling the first
but that's
one.
still in there, and like we said with Baba Charles, I mean he's
more traditional.
He's more traditional, which means while all these guys are playing the shit you want to know, you're gonna play the clave.
Exactly.
And you're gonna do that for a year.
Yeah, for sure. He's like a Mr. Miyagi style teacher.
So,
absolutely.
So I got the claves down.
Yeah,
so that's good.
Yeah.
I know how to kind of work around those a little bit.
Yeah. And the 2-3, and the bossa can be related to the clave. They have the 2-3 clave and the 3-2 clave. Now the bossa is not, it's not as official as the clave with 2-3 or 3-2. It's a different kind of rhythm.
Yeah.
And different region, obviously, Brazilian. But so I'm doing 2 things. Firstly, I'm taking the same rhythm, but I'm doubling some of the hits. I doubled the first one, da 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 da, and then the 5th one of them. Okay. And the second thing I'm doing is what people call orchestration, whereas instead of doing it just on the rim, what if just little things where it's like, okay, I'm just starting to change it a little bit. Not much though, trying to come from the rhythm, not like make a big change, okay? So that's the first thing that I would say. And, those things you had, and you have it recorded, so you can kind of mess with, I like that one where I'm kind of going. And I could have done that with, just with one hand. Yeah. But sometimes it's nice to take the hand off the cymbal and do a little something else. Okay, so I'm going quick. I'm not going to have you like get it down right now because I feel like unless you want to, I don't want to keep.
No, you're
good. Okay,
great pace.
Cool. Another thing I do, there's a rhythm called I think it's, you have to correct me here to get my book out. It's partito alto, I believe. I don't want to give you bad information. Anyway, with the caveat that I may be getting that a little wrong. It's a different rhythm that's used in bossa. They may even consider that samba, actually. But, in my mind, when it comes to jazz, like there are big differences in bossa nova and samba in real music. And you know probably more of that stuff than I do. Different instrumentation, different rhythms, different entire types of bands probably came about at different time periods. I don't know the details of it. But when it comes to jazz and being more loose with it, the only difference with bossa and samba is the tempo, really. The way that I think of things, because that's just kind of how it is. And the arbitrary marker between the two, for me, and again, this is probably not even true, is once I can no longer play all the eighth notes with my right hand, then it becomes a samba. So when I'm like, I still like a fast bossa, but when it's like, at that point it's a samba because I can't. I can do it for a minute, but if it's like not comfortable, I'm not going to try to get all those notes out. And plus, when I do that, the tempo starts to drag because I'm like,
And you're right, it's still the same.
Yeah, but it's the same. Yeah, on the drum set, it's the same bass line. Same hi-hat. So some of the rhythms will change because you can't do all the intricate stuff when it gets fast. It's just the feeling changes. But essentially, the only difference in the jazz drum set world for me is tempo. That's not true in the real two styles of bossa or samba. Just to make sure that's clear. But so that said, the reason I say that is the partito alto might be used more in samba rhythm when it comes to traditional music. But I like to use it in the bossa rhythm. It's it changes up the rhythm. And the way that rhythm goes is cool because it starts on beat 3. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, So it's like a 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and so it's like a series of on beats that are on the beat and then some that are on the syncopations at the ends of the rhythm. So I'll just play it for you. 1, 2, 3. Try that for a second, just that rhythm.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have to start in the 3 and 4. We can start in the 1. So if you start in the 1, it'll be like this.
The 3 and 4 is just like a pickup.
Yeah, it's a pickup, and that's kind of how I've heard it with traditional music. But let's just start in the 1. So if you start in the 1, it'll sound like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. I did with the actual bossa rhythm, where I would change it a little bit but not go away from it too much, I do with this one. So like a lot of the things that I do are coming from these rhythms that are more traditional rhythms. Some bossa, some not bossa, but still, Brazilian rhythms. And I add little things to them. So for this one, I will go like, something like that. Little triplet thing, So I'm still in my mind thinking about the partito alto, if that is indeed what it's called. I'm going to have to get my book out to make sure I'm not bastardizing that, but I think that's what it is. And then, just improvising still within that rhythm, though. So I'm not just like making stuff, and when I'm playing with people, I'm probably not always thinking like, okay, this is this rhythm and this rhythm. But when I practice this stuff, I'm like, okay, I'm going to start with whatever rhythm is traditional, because those are obviously cool rhythms, and then improvise on that rhythm. Now, I do like, and you probably heard me doing some of this stuff, superimposing triplets on top of the bossa, stuff like that, where you're doing little triplety fills within, and it's fun for me to kind of try to feel triplets and straight together. That's a good feeling where you can really kind of smoothly go between the two. You don't want to force that stuff if you're not super comfortable with it, but I like to use that. And when I hear the piano player start doing triplety stuff on top of a bossa feel, I can kind of go with them if I want to, or I don't have to always jump on what they're doing, because sometimes in jazz you don't want to jump on everyone's rhythm, but at least you can imply a little bit of it, or you're feeling it, so you're with them even if you're not jumping on top.
Yeah, that's what I learned. I this last summer, Willie does the street performing thing a lot, and his son plays the flute, and he does it too.
Okay, I know his son. Yeah, that's his son.
Yeah. You've probably seen it at Stanley.
Yeah.
So man, we're not working together anymore because of just some other issues. I don't know.
Yeah, man. He's a good flute player. He's
a great flute player.
Yeah, really.
Bad to say about him.
Yeah, really good flute player.
And that's what he taught me. Playing with him, street performing, was I kept wanting to like play with him.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, don't play what I'm playing. Do your own separate thing, and that's just the backbeat, and I'm going to play on top of your backbeat.
Yeah, and that's something to be said for that, for sure.
You don't have to play all my accents that I'm hitting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And different people want different things and different styles. Some bands are more all trying to do, it just depends. But yeah, for sure. Traditionally, the drummer's role is to just play the beat, and the improviser's going to do stuff, and you don't try to do what they're doing. You're just laying it down so they can do what they're doing. So and then some more modern drummers, as you know, go along with more stuff. So it's all the balance, and depending on what the band feels
healthy
exactly. So there are other rhythms that I kind of throw into my bossa. Sometimes I'll throw in like a halftime feeling where I'm, just play it for you. So I'll be doing the kind of faster one, and I'll even do that with a hi-hat too. So I'll do a regular bossa. I'll go into it. So when I'm doing that, the way I practice that one is, let's just practice. You know what?
You did the way you left your
left it open on the one. Yeah.
So when I do that, your way just looked much more relaxed. When I do that, I actually almost like kick my heel into it. I like.
Oh yeah.
I do that and just leave it open.
Yeah.
But you just kind of didn't close it all the way.
Yeah. I feel like to get the cymbals to resonate, you don't have to do anything, right? It's just they're automatically gonna. It's like the harder part is to get them not to resonate, because you have to actually close it. So if you just kind of loosely do your foot, they're gonna be like. So you're gonna practice the regular bossa nova rhythm. Doing, and you can work on that.
Yeah, that's something I need to work on.
That one's a little tricky.
So that's the reason why I would like kick my heel into it, is because there's just that drastic of a change, but I need to work on just lightly being able to.
Exactly, lightly doing
to do it.
And then being able to get the transitions the hard part. And I would start this maybe a little slower if I were practicing it. I'll just do one measure each, just so you can kind of hear it cleanly on there with a little slower tempo. Sorry, 2 measures each, because that's how long the phrase is.
Oh, okay.
You can even go slower than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see what I'm doing there?
We do it one more time for me?
Yeah, and what I'm doing now is keeping the bossa rhythm the same on my left hand. But a lot of times when I go into that halftime thing, I'll actually kind of do the halftime feel with my left hand as well. But for now, good practice is to do both. Yeah, and before you even try to open the hi-hat, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Just practice switching it from 2 and 4 to 1 and 3, like this. It just has a different flavor, and then once you can do that, then the opening thing. And I'm just doing 1 time each now, but when you practice, you can do it 2 or 4 times each. Yeah, so you'll have that on the recording. That's definitely a good one. And then, like you said, texture. I love to grab one brush. My brush is here. Yeah. And you're doing that stuff. You have brushes?
Yeah. Cool.
When I'm playing with a smaller, quieter group, if it's a guitar trio and it's kind of playing quiet, which I did last night at Schwartz's Point, I did this exact thing quite a few times where I would use 1 brush and 1 stick. I like to do that if it's a quiet vibe on a bossa. If I'm using mostly brushes on the swing stuff, and sometimes if it's a louder gig, I won't even hardly use brushes. But when I do a bossa, I like to grab 1 stick because you can't. Rarely will I try to do any kind of straight ahead rhythm with 2 brushes. It just doesn't usually. Well, if it's like more ethereal, it can work, but not for regular bossa. So, I'll just start out doing the same thing, but with my hand there. So there's a few things you can do. Sometimes I'll start without even. I'll start the tune with like no left hand even, and with exactly doing like a combination of scrapes, so something like this. And then I'll bring my stick in. And you can treat it like a hand drum, where you kind of. Using the sound of, exactly. That's something I like to do a lot. And also this sound, where you kind of, you're hitting the, exactly. You're hitting the rubber, where the rubber meets the rim, and then exactly like that. Starts out like a normal bossa, bop, 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 but then I do 1, 2 in the second measure. So that's another thing that I didn't even do, another variation of rhythm that I just naturally do, I think. I didn't even think about that one. Practice this kind of stuff on my own. One good way to do it is, and I'm kind of realizing this as I go, but like if I'm improvising on it, you're like, wait, how do I vary the bossa? Well, I'll start every measure the same way for a minute, and then sometimes I won't. It's not like a strict rule, but it's good to give yourself those limitations. So I'm starting every bossa with that exact rhythm of the other bossa, not the one that you came in playing, but the opposite one, the 2-3 one. But then I vary it every time after that. I'm doing different stuff, so I'll just play a few measures just like that. to the beginning, I'm just kind of like trying to come up with some, simple stuff. None of that's crazy, but you know what I'm saying. It's like just kind of changing it up a little. I think those are ways that I've practiced. Let's get into the metronome talk for a second, because this is, and your time is very good. I mean, when you were with the metronome, you weren't even really
I really don't use the metronome as much as I should.
Well,
like 100. I've drilled 100 into my like natural clock pretty well, because that was just a weird time for me that I struggled with for a while.
Yeah, you know what? That's so funny. Just the other day, CJ Ellison?
No.
He's a drummer. He had a lesson with me, and then he came over just to hang out. We're friends.
He's a local guy?
Yeah, he's a local guy. He's good. He didn't study jazz. He's very fast. He was in drum corps. He played for the, I don't know if you know about drum corps at all.
Yeah, dude, I thought about that, but then
he marched with Madison Scouts for like 2 years. Like they're like,
that's cool.
Yeah, so he's like teaching me like, I mean he's like showing me. I mean he's faster.
Just snare drum stuff.
Yeah, he's like kind of showing me some exercises.
Well, I thought about like Marines drum corps. You're saying there's different drum corps that's just not Marine? I never thought about that stuff, man.
Yeah, it's Marines a different world for me as well.
The Marines are snaky. They're snakes in the grass, and I feel like they're gonna trick me.
I know.
And the next thing you know, I'm gonna be getting shot at.
I know.
And I'm like, I thought I was gonna be the drummer.
That's what the drummer.
So that's a good idea. What you just said is maybe I start looking at some other type. Like it doesn't have to be the Marines.
No, it doesn't. But whatever. I don't. I'm not a drum. I'm just saying that's what he did. It's not something.
That's what he did with the Marines, or
no. Just drum corps.
Okay.
Just playing in like DCI. Okay,
because I was never in like marching band or anything. Yeah. I wasn't like in the cliques. It was real clicky.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Don't worry about that stuff.
Okay.
I mean, I did a little marching band in high school, but it's not. You're good, man. You don't have to think about that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I only say that because he was over here and we were doing some sambas and we hit 100. For some reason, 100 is a hard tempo.
It is. It's just kind of awkward.
Yeah, and I just said this to him 3 days ago. I'm like, man, what is with 100? And now you're saying this, and it's funny to me because maybe there's like something about it. Right. Yeah. So I
just kind of like, whoa.
Yeah, that's exactly how we felt. So that must be something about all humans, maybe, or this is only a small test group, 3 of us. But,
yeah.
I mean, we all have a similar heart rate.
Drummers, yeah.
Our heart rates are all around 92, right? That's what they say. So,
I never thought about that.
It could.
We're naturally at 92.
Yeah. Which 92 is pretty easy for me to play. So that's very odd. So I'm going to show you what I've been doing to practice my bossas and sambas, and this could be helpful to you. So this is something I just picked up this year, actually, based on some videos. This dude, 80/20 drummer.
I know that guy.
Yeah.
He sends me like a million emails.
Yeah, are you subscribed to his thing?
Yeah, I never did it because it was like $200, and I was like, man, I'm not gonna spend $200. I want some personal lessons right here. I don't want to. I'll just watch a free video.
Yeah, exactly.
That guy sent me so many emails for so long that I eventually just unsubscribed from the email thing. I was like, fuck this guy.
Well, I never subscribed, so I've only watched some of his free videos. He's got some good stuff to say.
Yeah.
Not everything that he says, but he's good. So this is one thing that I kind of got from him. Not this thing, but based on some other things he does, which is putting the click in weird places. And other people have done this too, but
like metric modulation.
Not that. I mean, that
I know it. Yeah.
That stuff I've done a lot of.
Is that not what?
But no, that's not what this is. Okay. This is just a way to practice, where it kind of helps your time. It helps my time quite a bit. So instead of thinking about this, let me see where we're at here. This is a good start. This is 60, I think. Yeah, I'll start. 60 is good. So instead of thinking of this as being on the 1, this could be on the end. 2, 3, 4. Kind of like that.
Okay.
But this is turn it up a tiny bit.
Yeah, it's like you just think about it differently.
Yeah, exactly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that, like I said, your time is good. but I would say playing to a metronome is very, very useful, especially when working on different tempos that you're not, that, you know, if you're just playing by yourself, you'll always gravitate toward comfortable.
Well, that concept that we were just working on, like, that could be really cool if you applied it in a real band setting. Like if all the band was on one, but you were playing your normal thing, but you did it on the right, exactly. It would sound completely different.
So that's metric modulation that you're talking about.
Okay, because I never knew exactly what that was.
Yeah.
I just one guy. It's funny you said that guy because that's the only guy I've watched on YouTube that talks about.
Yeah,
that.
he talks about that, and that's something that I when I did those lessons with Ari Honig, he's the master of metric modulation. He's a New York guy. That's what we did a lot of, and metric modulation is awesome, and there are some subtle versions or some simple versions of it, even in pop music. I don't know, you know the Cars, that band?
Yeah.
Just What I Needed, you know that song?
Yeah.
Just What I Needed. Well, you notice on the third verse, you know, I don't like you coming here. But on the third verse, it's like, I don't like you coming here.
Yeah.
He turns the beat around.
He flips it.
Yeah, and you're like, whoa. But there's something iconic about it on that one. Somehow he flips the beat. So that's a very simple version of it. But it's used all the time in jazz. I mean, it's crazy what you can do if once you start getting into it. So this is an aside, but I'll just briefly, since you brought it up. That's actually a little easier if you hear all four quarter notes for the purpose of this. So if I'm playing a swing beat, I can modulate it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, you're really in the track with it.
4, yeah, 1. So I'm doing 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So that's kind of what Ari does. That stuff. So you're taking the same rhythm, and instead of moving it a full beat over, which you can do as well. I'm moving it just one triplet over. So there are 3 parts of the triplet: the beat, the middle triplet, and then the third part of the triplet. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I was doing it on the 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you can also do it on the third part of the triplet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So that's metric modulation. That's kind of what you're talking about, is being able to feel the same rhythm but shift it over. And if you're confident and you really feel that rhythm and there's no doubt in your mind, then the band will kind of get sucked into it. Now, you don't want to force those things. I've tried those things. When I ran certain people and they're like, whoa, the drummer just lost a half a beat. They don't hear it, because they're not used to that. So that's the kind of thing you can't just pull out on anybody. But if there are musicians who are really comfortable and they know you have a good time, and that stuff can be a lot of fun. So back to the Bossa thing. Putting it on the end is great, but what's helped me the most is to put the metronome on the E, which is even harder. But for some reason. And the reason you do this is because if you put the metronome always on the beat, you kind of rely on it for the beat. So your beat gets a little weak, like your downbeat.
Yeah.
I find, like when you would hear recordings of people playing to click tracks, or if you go to a show and they have the click in their ear, you'll notice sometimes the drummer isn't like, they're playing along to something. They're not laying it down. And one way to somewhat solve the issue, you're still playing along to something, so it's not 100%. Is to put the metronome in these weird places, so you're still responsible for the downbeat. I think it's kind of cool. So this is what I've been doing, putting it on the E. So if this is the E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. Takes a second to get used to. Once you settle into it. is in a weird
yeah,
place.
well, I felt that.
Yeah. And when you're starting to do it on the E,
So the way you explained it was a lot easier for my brain to like, because I've tried to do some of that stuff before, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
But just like count it and say E and a 1, E like.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just start on just to know that that's the E, because I tried to go 1 E and like try to before.
It's hard, right?
Kind of make that line up, but to just know that that's the E and go E and a 1, E and a 2, E.
Yep. Exactly. And I've struggled with that too. Like, even after practicing it for like a month, sometimes I'll put it on, and especially at the faster tempos, and you're like, I can't not hear that as the beat.
Yeah.
So yeah, at a slower tempo, E and a 2, E and exactly what I did, starting on the E and a 3, E and a 4, E and a 1, and then once you get that down, here's what I do with at least with the bossa and samba rhythms, is I'll just play just that on the snare, just to make sure. 2 E and a 3, E and a 4, E and a 1. Just do that for a second. 2 E and a 3, E and a 4, E and a 1, 2, 3. Yeah, exactly.
That's even weird.
Yeah, it's weird, but
like when I started talking, I lost it.
Yeah, that's fine. You'll do it. You'll get it better.
Yeah.
But I can tell you'll get it. So yeah, the more you do that, it just started to strengthen my time. Then, what I started doing was halving it. You know, you don't have to do this yet. Well, this one doesn't even go slow enough. I need my phone for this because this only goes down to 40. But yeah, I put it at 30, so it'd be like 1 E and 2 3 E and 4. It's half as often, just to give yourself a little more of a challenge. So I would go between 60 and 120, so pretty much doubling the tempo, using this technique, just to kind of smooth out. And I'll do every day, I'll kind of try a different one. I'll start at 60 for like 2 minutes, and then, all right, that feels good. I got it, feeling good. Bump it up, 71, 72, 84, 96, 105, I try different tempos in between, so I'm not always doing the same ones. 100. Of course, is good because that one's weird somehow. And yeah, so like let's pick the weird one, 100. This could be challenging. This is more of a samba tempo. E and a 2, E and a 3, E and a 4, E and a. Trying to get comfortable on it,
Me as like a third-party listener, hearing that as the downbeat, it's like I don't know what the hell you're doing if I'm thinking that as the downbeat. If you're thinking that's the
downbeat, exactly. So yeah, and that's the fun part about it, is I see what you're saying. I never even thought about that part of it. That's crazy. Modulating 1/16 over and like the rhythm would sound crazy.
Yeah.
If you thought about that as the downbeat. That's cool. So yeah, that's the way, I'm just kind of showing you some stuff I've been working on regarding the samba and the bossa nova, since that's kind of what you asked.
Yeah, dude, this lesson's going awesome. Like I said, I took lessons for years, and I'm not trying to diss this guy, but it's like I've gone back to him several times thinking I was going to get a different result, and he would just sit me down and put those books I told you about earlier in front of me. And it's like, man, I've already gone through these books.
Right. Well, it's
but
hard,
I want somebody to show me like you, like, and this is what I do in my,
Yeah, communicate. I think I have a knack for teaching just because
you're good at it.
It's about communication, and stuff.
Yeah,
like
you're really
that.
good at explaining things.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I like it. And I mean, honestly, I love teaching people like you because this is what you want to do, and it's
this is
so
what I've
easy.
known I've wanted to do.
I'm not as good at teaching kids and people that don't really want to be there. I actually have curbed. I mean, I used to teach like full time, like 40 hours a week, but it just got to be like I couldn't take any more of the people who just like so this is my favorite kind of lesson where I can just be like, hey, this is what I do.
That's what like my other guy does too, is he's got mostly kids. He's got 40 kids a week that he
it's hard.
It's
good
so
money.
It's like a half-hour lesson,
and
it used to be $80 for 4 half-hour lessons a month, and now it's like $100. So, man, if you're doing lessons, dude, I'll do like probably 2 a month.
You sure?
For,
Yeah,
like,
I'll teach you as much as you want.
$40 because I have a lot of other lessons I do. Like I said, I have Baba Charles. I do tabla as well.
Yeah.
I saw you counting on your fingers. That's some tabla
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, man. With Jim Feist?
Yeah, Jim's the guy, man.
You know all the cats, man. That's cool.
I've been trying.
I love Jim. Yeah.
Jim's
I've known
awesome.
Jim for years, too. All these guys are on the peripheral of my, like...
So, and like I said, I work at KFC, so what doesn't go to, like, car insurance. I live with my mom.
Okay.
So she's cool. I don't have to pay
Are
rent.
you okay with money? I mean, you know...
Yeah, but that's what I'm
Okay.
saying. That's why I can only do, like, 2 a month.
Okay.
Like, $80 a month. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, I can handle that, but I can't handle every week.
Yeah, yeah. You know, okay.
We're going to have to do, like, a play-by-ear kind of
Yeah,
thing.
that's fine. Man, I'll tell you, since we're doing long today, we'll do 40, but if we do hour lessons, I'll do 30 with you, man.
All right, that's cool.
Because you're working at KFC, and I like you, and
All right.
I don't know. I'll do
Thanks.
30. I'll do $30 after today anyway.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, just because that's like my friend rate, and I feel like I want to give you that. So
Thanks.
yeah, for sure. We'll do hours, but yeah, we can still do once every couple weeks. I'm loose, man. Whenever you want to do a lesson, just hit me up, and we'll do it.
All right.
Basically, is how it works.
And yeah, this is a good area for me too. You know Steve Hayes?
I know the name. Who is Steve Hayes?
He's a school teacher. I forget where he teaches at, but he's a percussionist.
Okay.
You've probably seen him play like the Shaker Ray, or I don't know, dude. He talks about percussion.
He lives in.
He was right around here.
Okay, you know who knows him is my friend Johnny Ruja, who knows all the dudes here.
Who we used to be in Drums for Peace.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
flute
plays
player?
flute. Yeah.
He plays in
He plays
Mahinjagari with Jim.
Mahinjagari, yeah.
Yeah.
So Johnny and me are. Do you? Let me ask you another question. Do you work? Well, I do a thing every Sunday night at the Comet. It's like kind of a.
Oh, that's cool. I know the Comet.
Yeah,
I haven't been there in a long time.
We do an improv night. I guess you're only 20, but you probably go to bars. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, man. The Northside Tavern's been IDing me when I try to go in there. Now I can't go to Northside Tavern anymore. I've been playing there since I was like 15.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I haven't had a gig there in a while, and I grow a beard and I can't get in all of a sudden.
Yeah, the Comet will not ID you on a Sunday night.
Yeah, most
as long as
most
you're
places don't
respectful.
around here.
When do you turn 21?
I just turned 20 in September. 9/11, my birthday.
Oh, 9/11. That's my friend Shannon who does recording with me here at 9/11. Cool. Well, anyway, I do this thing on Sunday nights at the Comet. It's like improvisation. It's not any genre, and we kind of involve the audience, and it's always different. But drummers come and they sit in second set especially. It's late. We play 11 till 1:30 in the morning, so
cool.
It's not for people who have to wake up Monday morning. But if if you're cool,
You doing it tonight?
We are. Tonight we're playing along to Nintendo video games. We
Okay.
have the screen set up and people play, and we just kind of improvise along. It's fun. Yeah, we do all different kind of musical games. I host the night. But
Okay,
yeah.
that's cool. That's late. I was
Yeah.
gonna go to Stanley's. I haven't been to Stanley's in a long time. I haven't been anywhere in a long time.
Yeah.
But this guy he plays bass. He asked me to like play drums for his group or whatever. So I was gonna meet them there tonight.
Cool.
But I might go to the Common
Yeah,
afterwards
stop
now.
it by. I mean, we do it every week, so there's no pressure to come tonight. But if you do, we'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be doing it.
1:30 is when you end.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, sometimes even 2. It just depends. It's pretty loose. Never before 1:30, I would say.
Okay.
2 is like the latest we end. But yeah. Anyway, Johnny's he's like always there, pretty much.
Playing with you guys?
Yeah, he's in the band. As long as we're not.
Yeah,
doing
I don't
a
really know
special
him that
thing.
well. I just
You'll like Johnny. He's a sweet.
I bought the
sweet
tablas
guy.
from Willie Smart,
Yeah,
and
I'm sure Johnny knows.
And he was like, and everyone, Baba and him, they were like, man, you gotta find Jim.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, this Jim guy, he's the only guy in town that actually knows how to play this shit.
Oh yeah. He's
And
the
I
best.
asked Baba, I was like, man, how do I find him? He's like, well, we used to be in Drums for Peace. Let me call someone. That's who he called.
He called Johnny.
Johnny.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, all these guys.
So he gave.
His older
He's the one who
generation.
actually gave me his number, but I've never like met him.
Yeah, well, if you come down on a Sunday, you'll meet him.
All right, cool.
And the dude, I'm sure he knows. Well, sorry, with the guy you just mentioned, Shaker Ray guy.
Steve
yeah.
Hayes.
I'm sure
He
that-
lives right around here.
Yeah, Johnny's got
And
to know Steve.
I work
Hayes.
with him on like Tuesdays and Saturdays a lot.
Johnny knows
and,
everybody. He's
Yeah,
everybody.
this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's sweet. You got a little bait, man.
Yeah, Ricardo Wilkins made me this. If you know Ricardo.
I don't know Ricardo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know where Ricardo's been out of the game for a minute. I think I haven't seen him.
Mm-hmm.
But he made me my actual Shaker Ray, and yeah, we all got Shaker Ray necklaces because
Mm-hmm.
he's the man for that.
That's a cool man. I'd like that. I like that.
But my point is, this area is great. My other guy I told you about that I was taking lessons from, he was out in Ludlow.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
this
is pretty centralized.
This is pretty central from
for sure.
I'm on the Kentucky side, but I drive over here like all the time.
Right on. Well, let's for sure. I'm down whenever. We'll talk about it. But cool. All right. Well, let's continue on a bit. Let me just do a time sheet. You know what time it is? I don't even know what time it is. Like I said, we can be loose today. I'm not.
Cool.
It's 2:29.
It's actually 3:30.
Okay. Why does it say 2:20? Oh, that's when I started it. Cool. 3:30. That's great. I'm leaving here around. Yeah, we're good. We cool to go a little bit longer? Or
yeah.
Okay, cool. We won't go too much. I feel like I've given you a good amount. Let's today. Let's stick away from the swing stuff right now.
Okay.
If we're doing more lessons, there's plenty we can get into with that stuff. So let's just kind of finish up on the Bossa Samba thing. And then I just want to talk to you a little bit just about something that I'm super into, which is polyrhythms. Just to kind of give you, because that's been my actually personal obsession for the past years, like working on these polyrhythms in this weird way. So I just want to share it with you just because you'll like it, even if it's not something you're going to work on. But let's finish the Bossa Samba thing. So let's talk about when you get a little faster. Even let's talk about 90 to 100, before we're getting too fast, but still fast enough where we'll call it a samba, okay? And I know you said you worked with a lot of samba rhythms, but not on the drum set.
Yeah.
But more like other things. Show me a couple of those rhythms. I'm just curious. Like.
Well, I started. This was like a snare drum. I don't know exactly what they call it in Brazil. I'm blanking. I do know what it's called, but it's in there somewhere.
Yeah, that's fine. I have.
That's kind of an underlying thing. A hapaniki is like a different
and that's
kind
similar
of
to the bossa rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just faster.
That's kind of what it goes off of.
Yeah.
It's like a. It's supposed to be a rim shot. And that's the drum that does the call.
That sounds cool.
Everybody.
I know exactly this is what you're talking about. I think of Sergio Menendez and his records I listened to.
Yeah, and that's what me and Stan Jen have been working on is with the tambourine, getting that kind of flippy back and forth.
Yeah. And then the surdo, right? That's like the low. There's like two surdos or something.
Trying to think which one's open. I think the first one's closed.
Yep. I think you're right. Yeah, the first. I think the second one is an open one.
And then, so there's two types. There's like samba hege, which is a different kind of sort of thing. It's like there's that, and it's like bum, boom, da da do. Oh, it's kind of hard over here. There's actually three sordos.
There's three sordos? Okay.
Yeah, one's just a downbeat, and one's do-do-da-do-do. Do-do-da-do-do. But then that's a different one. Do-do-da-do-do. Do-da-do-da-do-do-da-do.
There's so many rhythms going on with the samba, right? It's like
it's a parade. It's like
it's
everyone
a parade.
Get involved.
Yeah, there's almost so many rhythms that any rhythm can work. But it's a specific sound that's definitely unique to it.
Yeah, and then you have like some go-go bells.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
And but when we do samba on congas, it's like different rhythms.
Mm-hmm.
We do. I guess we have do da do bass tone bass
Mm-hmm.
and then it's almost like on top the main kind of samba thing. It's like almost like a George of the Jungle kind of thing, like da da do do da da do 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 da da do do da da do do do. And then you have bass tone bass tone bass tone bass tone. Yeah, and those three kind of work together to kind of, if you have a good number, 3 people playing some congas, you can kind of do that too.
Sweet. Yeah, I love it. You know a lot of those rhythms. That's cool.
It's just a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of like getting the parts and being around them, and like you're on this part, but you can also kind of look over and see what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been working with Bob Charles since I was probably 15.
Mm-hmm.
That's I'm 20 now. It's been about 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's taken me a little bit through conga and introduced me to djembe. Biakoto?
I don't.
Norwood. Biakoto is a place. It's Nigerian.
Okay.
I'm going to Nigeria in January.
Whoa.
Yeah, really soon.
Have you been?
About a month. No.
What are you doing? Who are you going with?
Balku Moses.
Okay. I do know Balku. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going with Balku.
Sure. Okay. Balku's great.
It's been in the works for this last year.
Yeah.
I was on a gig with Balku in Yellow Springs, and we talked about it.
That's awesome.
And I'm really excited.
That's gonna be awesome.
I play dude, I do it all.
How long are you gonna go there for?
10 days.
Sweet.
Yeah, and we got he said at least 5 days of just nothing but drums.
Yeah.
So
you're gonna
that's why he's going too.
That's gonna be sick, man. Have you been out of the country before?
I've been to Canada, but that doesn't count.
Yeah, well, I mean, technically it counts, but it's not going to over there.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. It's gonna change me, hopefully.
Yeah, but definitely change you. That's awesome, man. You have to tell me.
Yeah, I really have been. I'm in all the little pockets. You should see my room, dude. It's like all the drums are just shoved in this corner.
Yeah.
And I pull them out as I need them. And
yeah, that's great. And do you record much ever?
I don't have any. No, I don't have anything. I've been trying to get into that.
The
hardest part for me as
plate.
A musician is finding other musicians I can work long term with.
Yeah.
Because
me too. That's hard.
It's hard. Like, I'll give you an example. I've been working with this guitar player named Chris, and he comes over to my house, and every time he plays the exact same thing, which is fine. But I've been trying to lead him into like, let's make our own stuff. It's just some riffs that he's been working on, but he doesn't know how to improvise. He doesn't know how to just jam and go into it. And then it's like whatever I play, he's hearing a certain thing, so he wants me to play what he's got in his mind. And then at the end of the day, it's like, man, I'm just punching a time clock.
Yeah.
Like if this goes anywhere, I'm gonna be playing these same exact songs the exact same way.
Yeah.
And that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to just go on stage and Hendrix it up and play what I want to play.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean.
So just finding the guys has been the hardest struggle for me.
The better you get, the more confident they'll come to you. I think that's how it works. Although I will say, it comes in phases because I have been lately struggling with this too. Because my main band that I have guys like that I love. We're kind of taking a break, so I'm like, I want to find some other guys to do some different stuff with, and not just do pickup gigs, which I do a lot of, where you just play standards, which is great.
Yeah.
But I have the same feeling that you're talking about. Like, I want my people to start develop a rapport with some people who I feel very like-minded with. So I'm kind of looking for that in a different time of my life.
That's another thing too. It's like this guy can play, but he's such an introvert. He won't come out to the open mics to find any other people.
Yeah.
And it's like so many. I've gone from guy to guy to guy to guy to guy.
Yeah.
That part of me wants to do a solo thing, but it's like that's not what music's about.
Right. It can. I mean, it's part of it, but yeah, no, you're right. It's about
Jim has a lot of solo stuff, but he knows how to play melodic instruments.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know that stuff. I don't really know. Like, I know scales, and I know how to I have a glockenspiel that I work with.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to actually make anything that sounds like,
I mean,
good.
You don't have to do it. You might love it once you get the bug. If you do get some kind of recording rig, and you.
I have a lot of equipment.
I've
spent the money to get the equipment.
You might find you love recording. I personally, it changed my life. Many years back, my brother was the one who introduced me to it.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of self-recording. I have all this shit, and I'm not great with keyboard. I can play, but I'm good for recording it. I'm not good. I can't take a gig on a keyboard, but I can.
Then maybe
I can work on it myself. I can just turn it on, and I don't have to know anything. I can be like, just play random. Play random, whatever. Random notes. Just playing random shit. It's not that good, but and you just find something that you like and be like, oh, that's kind of sick. Like, oh, I can hear a beat.
You're
like,
right.
What would go like? Okay, maybe like. then I record the drums first, and then I'll kind of put that in, and then you listen and be like, okay, that's shaping up into something, you know, and then you kind of, bass line, like, boom, 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 you know, get my bass out, just kind of, you know, just put stuff together. It's fun, man.
So that's
I
a
love
different
it.
thing.
Yeah,
I don't know how to play like guitar or bass or any of that stuff. I've been teaching, not really teaching because I don't know how to do it, but I've been encouraging my girlfriend to play the bass.
Yeah.
Because
that would be good.
my new philosophy is instead of trying to get these great musicians to be my friends,
build them around.
Maybe I make my friends great musicians.
I like that.
So
I've done that too. I did that with my wife actually. She started the bass and we did some touring together, and it was good. Yeah, I think, and I'm not, you know, at this point that we're kind of like, I'm just giving you fun thoughts. I'm not telling you this is what you need.
That's
to do
what I
want to
do. I just got a green screen.
Yeah.
I have a YouTube channel that I'm trying to grow.
Nice. What are you doing on there?
Just playing the drums and just like shorter videos. I'm trying to be. I'm not doing drum covers. Everyone does drum covers.
Yeah.
I'm just doing things that actually, for people like you and me, if you know, not beginner stuff, some of it's beginner stuff, but it's like the advanced to intermediate drummer needs a smaller channel that you can just find. You're like, holy shit, this guy actually is teaching me the shit. There's so many guys that I've gone to, and that's why I think this is going to work. There's so many guys that I've gone to and given them my money, and then they don't teach me the actual shit that I need to know to progress. They're just like giving me some bullshit kid lesson.
Yeah.
And it's like, YouTube has taught me a lot. There's a guy I want to show you. His name's Yanni Madri or something. I'll show you the channel.
I'll put it in right now.
Dude, he's incredible.
How you spell his name?
I'm trying to think of his last name. Just go to YouTube. You might have even seen his stuff. Yanni. If you want to talk about polyrhythms, this is the guy. And he's the one who showed me the push-pull thing. Hold on. Let's just say drum solo.
That's my brother's
This guy.
My brother's name is, I think that's pronounced Yoni.
Yoni.
Yeah, this is my brother. His name Yoni. I mean, this is not my brother, but my brother's name is Yoni.
This guy has tons of stuff on here.
Sweet. I'm going to check this dude out. I love it.
And you can see they're not like millions of views.
Yeah. Not that many. Thanks.
Which like Dromio, I kind of stay away from Dromio unless there's somebody
exactly. I get,
unless there's somebody.
I follow them, so I get a lot of shit from them. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
But he posts a lot of stuff. I mean, sometimes it's like every day. It's like you go take a shit and you pull up YouTube, and then you're like, oh my god, this guy's like on.
He's on there throwing it down.
Yeah,
that's cool, man. He'll start to build a following, I'm sure. He's relatively new. I'll check this stuff out.
But yeah, he's got a lot of great polyrhythm stuff.
Years ago. That's great.
And
that stuff is awesome. Yeah, let me just show you.
I do some like endurance things where I just stream for a really long time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get into that more. YouTube took my streaming privileges away until I get 1,000 people on there, unless I have a webcam, which I don't. I have a pretty shitty computer.
Okay.
So to use it for my phone, I have to have 1,000 people. I have 200.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that.
You can get on it. It's just my name.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah.
Do I? Yeah.
Dylan,
yeah, dude, carry the card on me.
Oh, nice. That's perfect. Awesome. I'll get on there.
So I post not as, I don't know.
I've been wanting to do that, man.
I in and out of it.
That's a good idea. I should be doing that.
I don't want to make it like a big sponsorship. Like a lot of guys, it's like you gotta buy this new double bass pedal because I'm sponsored by it. You know, right. I don't want it to be like that. I'm really trying hard not to sell out at all.
Yeah.
And just post what I want to post, and hopefully enough people can discover the channel. That it's like when there is something cool that I might actually want you guys to buy. Not because I'm getting paid for it, but because I believe in it.
Because you like it.
And I believe it's going to help you.
Can throw it on there.
It can help everybody.
I think that's great. Yeah, I've thought about doing a YouTube channel for various things, but I haven't done it yet.
It's hard. It's hard work.
Yeah.
I've had mine for like at least a year. I only have 200 people on it, which is not only, 200 people is a lot, but it's hard to get people that you don't know to get on it.
It's hard to break past that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Most of those people are people like you that I just told about, hand them the card.
Right, yeah. I'll jump on there. Cool, well, but yeah, before we go, I'm just going to show you some of the stuff I've been doing. And if we continue lessons up, we'll get into some of this stuff more. But I've come up with this exercise that kind of uses polyrhythms that has been like like changing, game changer for me. It's just helped. It's helped my time. It's helped a lot of stuff, I feel like, and it just kind of goes through the various polyrhythms. But I'll just play it for you a little bit, and then we'd have to break each one down separately. But have you played many polyrhythms just straight up, like 3 against 4, 4 against 3, 5 against 4? I don't know.
Yeah, like
Yep.
I know, like I've done kind of that stuff.
Yeah, you've done. So that's 2 against 3.
That's 2 against 3,
and that's the basis for them.
Like I don't know, like 5 against 4.
Mm-hmm. You know 4. You know 4 3.
Play it.
It's like
yeah.
That one feels good.
Yeah. I do that on my feet.
Yeah.
That's what I've worked a lot on, is trying to solo on top.
Yeah.
But I kind of lose
And then
it.
you like switch fans. Yeah, that's great. I love doing feet ostinatos and soloing.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to work on
even
this
just
year.
a samba, doing that one and trying to solo on top of that is a good one.
Yeah, but I've been doing that as like a triplet. I've been doing 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Then when I start doing triplets on top, it like, I don't know, it can sound really cool. But what were you saying?
Yeah, so then the next one up, I would say, would be the 5 against 4, which is a little harder. 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. I'm sorry. 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Now I'm losing it. Okay, I know how I can get it. See, sometimes it's hard to get into.
I know.
So the best way, this will be good to show you this. The best way to get into one, such as 4 over 5, is think about it as it's 4 groups of 5, or it's 5 groups of 4. So let's think about it in 5 groups of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 groups of 4. But then you can play the 4 groups of 5 on top of that. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, E. And the way to think about the 4 is it's like 1 on together, 1, 2 E. So on the E of 2, 1, 2 E, 3 N, the end of 3, 1, 2 E, 3 N, 4 up 5, and the last one's up 5. So it's like 1, 2 E, 3 N, 4 up 5. 1, 2 E, 3 N, 4 up 5. Yeah.
Together on 1?
Together on 1, yeah. Exactly. 1. Yeah. You got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 together. 3, 4, 5 together. Together. 5 together. 2, 3, 4, It's a fun one. So
well, and the way you were counting the 4.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
To count the other
to
side
count
of
the
it.
other side of it is tricky. I'm going to send you, actually, once I get on your YouTube channel, I'm going to send you just a video I put up on YouTube. It's not a channel, but that kind of, I do this 2, 3, 4, 5 polyrhythm, 6 polyrhythm thing. I'll send it to you. You can check it out. I think you'll dig it.
Okay.
And then anyway, the exercise that I've been doing is this. So what I'll do is like, that's weird. What I'm doing is, I'll just show it to you. I'm doing 4 on my left hand always. Okay, my right foot is going to actually play the polyrhythm against that. So I'm going to do 2 against 4. I'm going to do 3 against 4. I'm going to do 4 against 4, which is just all together. I'm going to do 5 against 4, 6, 7 against 4, and 8 against 4. So my left hand and my right foot are doing the polyrhythm. My right hand is going to do different variations that kind of help me along. So sometimes I'll do triplets. On the 5s and 7s, it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or on the 7, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm just going to play it. I go up and down. And it's a great way of like being able to gear shift between the polyrhythms using the same quarter notes.
And
4.
to go through all of them.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but up and down.
Yeah, so this is what I call the polyrhythm exercise. I've been doing it for all year. Well, not quite a year. I've been doing it. But I really like it. So we're going to start with 2. Here we go. 2. 1. We'll go to 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. Like 7.
Great.
Yeah, that's the first half of it, or the first part of it. Then I do it, instead of 4s, I go to 60. So I started at 80, and I go to 60. Now I do it with 3s. Okay, so I got 1. So now I'm going to do 3 against all that stuff. Okay, 3 against 1, 3 against 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3 against 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Sorry, that was 3. 3 is the 4. And 2. And 1. So kind of going through all those in that one.
Yeah.
So that's
Against the 3.
That's the start. Now the real benefit of the polyrhythm exercise, which is the hardest part, and I'll have to stop the recording. I'm sorry if I'm keeping you too long. I'm just getting
No, you're not.